I used to think that I was invincible, that nothing could stop me, that I could conquer anything that life threw my way. And then the world ended, and everything I had known and loved was gone. But somehow, I survived. And now, looking back at the past few years, I can't believe how much has changed. When I look in the mirror, I see someone I barely recognize. My once smooth skin is now weathered, and face is creased from frowning. But despite the toll that the years have taken, there is one thing that has remained constant: my bike. I have always been a biker, ever since I was a teenager. Back then, it was all about the freedom of the open road, the wind in my hair, and the thrill of the ride. But now, it's something different. Riding my bike is a way for me to escape from the harsh reality of the world we live in. It's a way for me to stay alive. In the early days after the collapse, it was difficult to keep my bike running. Fuel was scarce, and there were few mechanics left to fix any problems that arose. But I was determined to keep my bike going, no matter what it took. I scrounged for spare parts, learned how to fix my own engine, and siphon from abandoned cars. Those were tough times, but somehow, we made it through. And as the years passed, I found occasional bikers who shared my love for the road. We formed a community of sorts, traveling together in search of food, shelter, and other supplies. We shared our stories, our fears, and our hopes for the future. We protected each other. But as time went on, the dangers of the road became greater. We encountered other survivors who were not as friendly as we were. There were raiders who would attack us for our supplies, and mutants who lurked in the shadows, waiting to pounce. We had to be constantly vigilant, always on the lookout for danger. And yet, despite all the hardships, there were moments of beauty and joy. Like the time we stumbled upon a pristine lake, its waters shimmering in the sunlight. Or some of the nights we camped out under the stars, listening to the sound of crickets and frogs. Those moments reminded me of what we were fighting for: the chance to live, to love, and to experience the world in all its glory. I am not the same person I was before. I have seen too much, suffered too much, and lost too much. But at the same time, I am stronger than I ever thought possible. I have survived against all odds, and I am still here, riding through the ruins of the world. Sometimes I wonder what the future holds. Will we ever be able to rebuild the world we once knew? Or will we be forever stuck in this cycle of survival and despair? But then I remind myself that the future is not set in stone. It is up to us to create the world we want to live in. And I will never forget the lessons I have learned on the road: that strength comes from within, that love and friendship are worth fighting for, and that the human spirit is capable of enduring even the most dire circumstances.